Yeah, it was around 5 o'clock, right before the jury decided they were going to go home for the day. Everyone had pretty much left, but there was a few people hanging around just in case they had made a verdict. And three of us were standing outside the bathroom when we saw her basically kind of not run, but go into the bathroom very quickly crying.
Elaine Bredehoft has finally left Amber Heard and will no longer be representing her at the appellate court. This recent announcement has been both a shocker and a relief to the public, leaving everyone genuinely curious and riddled with different questions as various stories are unfolding. Why did Amber really fire Elaine? Is it true that Amber simply can't afford her anymore? Or is this another one of Amber's tactic to win against Johnny Depp? After losing the defamation trial to Johnny Depp, Amber's legal team made a request for a retrial on the grounds that their due process had been violated. According to her legal team, Johnny had not presented proof of malice or defamation, and so the verdict could not have been supported by any real evidence. In their motion, they also stated that they had discovered that one of the jurors who contributed to the verdict was never actually summoned for jury duty. Apparently, the summons for the trial had been sent to a home where two jurors with the same last name were living. One was 77 years old, while the other was 52. The older juror was called to serve on the jury, but according to Amber's lawyers, the younger one showed up to court instead. In the filing for the retrial, they went on to state that there were safeguards in place to prevent such things from happening, and that when these safeguards were compromised, the right to a jury trial and due process are undermined and compromised. Well, isn't that interesting? To everyone paying attention, this just sounded like Amber's desperate efforts to grasp at straws, but to what end? Johnny's team fired back, saying that it didn't matter if one of the jurors who helped decide his defamation case against Amber Heard was never actually summoned for jury duty. The verdict should stand regardless. Heard is desperate after the demand for an investigation of Juror 15 based on a purported error in his birth date is misplaced. Moreover, Miss Heard's argument is based on pure speculation. They went on to ask the court to deny her frivolous motion in its entirety and reject her outlandish request to set aside the jury verdict. Not relenting, Heard's team went on with the retrial. Fans were not pleased with the turn of events. Someone commented on Twitter that Amber Heard has been proven in court to be the perpetrator. Amber Heard is requesting a retrial via social media and will lose again. And another said that I thought Amber Heard was the one who wanted JD to leave her alone. Did she change her mind? Some were sympathetic towards her plight. Anyone who really believes Amber Heard got a fair hearing and doesn't deserve a retrial needs to have a proper rethink about the power imbalance in society. I've heard feminists claim, with no evidence at all, that she was the abuser. It shows such a little understanding of DA. But what does Elaine have to do with all this? Well, by now it's no secret that Amber has scrapped Elaine from the team. And though Elaine herself had said that it was the perfect time to pass the baton and that she was stepping down voluntarily, signs are pointing to a deeper story, one that says Amber had gotten rid of Elaine in another manipulation tactic. Elaine had defended Amber during the initial defamation case against Johnny, and if we are to be perfectly honest, it is clear as day that Elaine could have done a much better job at it. She had made several avoidable mistakes, one after another, throughout the course of the entire case. She came across as unprepared and frankly unqualified to handle such a high-profile client, especially one that required a lot of attention to detail and intricacies. So it really didn't come as a surprise to hear that Amber was letting her go. It's normal. Celebrities fire their lawyers all the time. Although Elaine had presented poorly, she still stuck by Amber throughout, defending her in the media, developing tactics to dodge the fee, and being adamant that the verdict was wrong. Elaine also suffered a lot of hate from the media for supporting Amber, and even received a lot of heat from Amber herself, who was clearly not happy. And the entire ordeal must have been overwhelming for her, because she was even caught crying outside the courtroom during the trial.
Yeah, it was around 5 o'clock, right before the jury decided they were going to go home for the day. Everyone had pretty much left, but there was a few people hanging around just in case they had made a verdict. And three of us were standing outside the bathroom when we saw her basically kind of not run, but go into the bathroom very quickly crying.
Knowing this, you believe that she actually did step down on her own, especially seeing as everyone's blaming her incompetence for playing a significant role in Amber's defeat. But is this story all just a ploy that Amber's team strategically came up with to try to win the retrial by appealing that she didn't receive adequate representation during the defamation trial? Well, according to several reports, Amber is now going to try to win the appeal on the grounds that she was not represented properly and put the entire blame on Elaine. Amber is going to throw Elaine under the bus by saying she didn't do a good enough job to represent her and thereby deserves an appeal. And just a few days after the verdict was announced, Elaine went on the Today Show and said that Amber was definitely going to appeal, claiming that she had an ideal ground for appeal based on evidence that was allegedly suppressed during the trial. And just like she had said, Amber filed an appeal. At the same time, however, Johnny had also filed an appeal, objecting to the verdict's award of $2 million worth of compensatory damages to Amber. His spokesperson had said that they were never really planning to appeal because of the positive outcome of the trial, but seeing as Amber was so determined, they had no choice choice but to also file an appeal. He said that this was an overwhelmingly positive verdict for Mr. Depp. The verdict speaks for itself, and Mr. Depp believes that this is a time for both parties to move on with their lives and heal. But if Ms. Heard is determined to pursue further litigation by appealing the verdict, Mr. Depp will file a concurrent appeal to ensure that the full record and all relevant legal issues are considered by the Court of Appeal. Amber fired Elaine Bredehoft and replaced her main attorneys with David L. Axelrod and J. Ward Brown of Ballard Spahr, hoping this might help her secure a court victory and in turn may give her a chance to try the case again. The attorney said in an interview with E! News that, "We welcome the opportunity to represent Ms. Heard in this appeal as it is a case with important First Amendment implications for every American. We're confident the appellate court will apply the law properly without deference to popularity, reverse the judgment against Ms. Heard, and reaffirm the fundamental principles of freedom of speech." Could this have been the plan all along? When asked why she hired a new team, her spokesperson said in a statement to E! that when it comes to protecting the fundamental right of freedom of speech, we look at the jury's decision. To paraphrase a famous quote, not as the beginning of the end, but merely the end of the beginning, they went on to say that a different court warrants different representation, particularly as so much new evidence is now coming to light. Although Elaine might have actually only stepped down because she's a trial lawyer and not an appellate lawyer, which is a standard practice for the appeal court, the comment Amber's spokesperson made about new evidence coming to light is clearly a PR move because it is already established that the appellate court will not look at any evidence that wasn't presented during the trial. Well, fans are having very conflicting thoughts. Some are saying that Amber might push everything on Elaine and really file for ineffective representation. Someone had commented that Bredehoft is so bad, I'm worried Amber will be able to argue ineffective representation on appeal. Another person added that if Amber loses, she is making it so that she can appeal the court's decision stating unfair representation because she's alleging her lawyers won't share certain evidence. This is a calculated tactic by her team because they know she's going to lose. Others are saying that Amber fired Elaine to push the broke narrative with the idea that she couldn't afford her. Another person added that, how do you retain a lawyer when you're millions in debt and are claiming poverty? Does this law firm work for free, never getting a percentage of the win when there is no win? Apparently, if you need a lawyer, call Elaine. She's insane and free. Some were just relieved that Amber had finally gotten her claws off of yet another victim. Amber Heard is an energy vampire. She sucks the energy of those around her and leaves them feeling drained. When she has used up someone's energy, she moves on from those who feel drained. Elaine, stay away from Amber after this case. People are even curious to know how someone who claims to be bankrupt is able to pay for such expensive top-grade lawyers. Apparently, Miss Moneypot must have a prince in hiding. What firm would take on an impoverished liar if they had a brain? So she owes her pledge, her ex, her former lawyer, and now a New Bay firm. I wish I could leave a debt trail like that. So who is the hidden prince? Baby daddy? But what are your thoughts on this? Is everything really just one giant scheme? Or did Amber genuinely just throw Elaine away like she did the rest? If you think this video was intense, just wait till you watch this next one.